And welcome everybody to today's investor Q&A with Michael from Lightning Minds. My name is Temin. I'm one of the campaign managers here at Birchal. And just before we get started, I'd like to acknowledge the traditional owners and the land from which I'm beaming to you today. Birchal is based on the lands of the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation, and we pay our respects to elders past, present, and emerging. So I've had the pleasure of working with Michael and the team preparing for their campaign. And I know you're all much more excited to hear from him, but a little note from Birchal first. So as the licensed intermediary for the offer, Birchal Financial Services is working with Lightning Minds on its upcoming crowdsourced funding offer. Now, for those of you that are new here, crowdsourced funding, or as some call it, equity crowdfunding, is a relatively new form of fundraising in Australia. And it allows startups and small businesses to raise capital from a large number of small or retail investors and also sophisticated or wholesale investors through an online platform, which is Birchal. So instead of seeking funding from traditional methods such as banks, venture capitalists, companies can actually turn to the general public, often their communities, to raise money in exchange for equity in their business. Sounds pretty cool, right? So the information discussed in this Q&A is for informational purposes only, should not be considered as advice or recommendation to invest. Please do your own research and always consider the offer document and the general CSF risk warning before investing. There's plenty more information over at birchal.com, and we're more than happy to help answer any of your questions as well. So the way that today's session is going to run, Michael's going to take us through a great presentation, all about where Lightning Minds has come from, what he's looking to do with the capital raise, and then we'll switch to the Q&A session. So if you look at the bottom of your screen, there's a little box there, like a question box there. Just pop in any of your questions that you may have throughout the presentation, and then we'll have plenty of time at the end to go through these. And just lastly, we are recording today's session. So if you have to jump off early at all, that's no worries. We'll send around the recording afterwards. So enough from me. Over to you, Michael. Take it away.
Thank you, Taman. Really appreciate the intro and the work you've done with Lightning Minds so far. My name is Michael Payne. I am the founder, director of Lightning Minds. We are a non-alcoholic beer brand, dedicated non-alcoholic beer brand. Just going to go through a little bit of our history, try and touch on a few points in regards to where the business is at, where we would like to go, how we see our path to growth, and obviously answer any of your questions I have at the end, that you have at the end. So Lightning Minds was started as a dedicated non-alcoholic beer brand. Our whole ethos, our mission, how I am living my life currently is, something. I've created a brand that's creating a positive balance with alcohol. So the idea behind the non-alcoholic beer is to try and help people, just have a little bit of a spacer, a break, have something in their arsenal where they can, include with their drinking routines, just to kind of cut down a little bit. We're not, saying to people to quit alcohol. We're just trying to encourage people to, take a few nights off here and there, a week off here and there. That's the general ethos of our brand and what we kind of aim to achieve every day that we're trying to grow the brand. This has been quite a journey for me. Starting this brand came out of, I guess, just period of COVID where my previous business had finished up. I was in the hospitality industry, working at some pretty cool wine bars around Perth. It was, a fun time. I started to get a little bit concerned with the way that my drinking was becoming. It had started to become a bit of a negative influence on my life. And there came a point in time where I decided to stop alcohol, which is around July 2020. This was a pretty poignant moment, especially for the brand. It was the name of the brand kind of stems from the moment I had this epiphany. It was something just like a lightning bolt struck. And I just knew that I was not going to drink again. And I haven't touched alcohol since that day in July 2020. And that name, the signal of the lightning, it was kind of just stuck around whilst I was toying with the idea of the brand, getting a little bit more like into the, I guess, the setup of the brand, I was looking for someone to come on board to help brew the beer. I knew that was going to be a big exercise. I'd never brewed a beer in my life. I'd enjoyed beers in my previous state, but now it was getting to a point where I needed to find someone. Friend introduced me to a guy, Matt Crockett, who's a super talented brewer based in Beaconsfield, WA. I'd gone through a couple of people that weren't too interested. The whole scope of the non-alcoholic sector at that stage was still in its infancy, so people were a little bit concerned, and no one really knew how to create a recipe. So Matt and I actually got together. I had started trying a bunch of non-alcoholic beers, had a fair idea of what I wanted to create, and then I just put his expertise into creating this recipe. It was a interesting little journey. We would sit around in his back shed, taste a bunch of non-alcoholic drinks. I imported some from around the world. This was 2021 when there were maybe 15 available in Australia. We managed to get access to about 65 different non-alcoholic beers, taste testing every single one of them. One of my favorite breweries was Sierra Nevada, based in Northern California. And I just always thought the first recipe should be a pale ale with the American style influence. And to Matt's credit, he tinkered around. A couple of months later, he was able to come up with an incredible recipe. We had put it through a 19-litre fermenter, got to a point where we taste tested it enough that we were very happy to kind of move forward, which would then, I guess, head into the new direction. We kind of needed to figure out now where we were going to get this brewed. It took a fair while to figure out the recipe. We then started contacting some contract brewers around the country. A lot of them, weren't really into non-alcoholic beers just yet. It was still pretty early stages in 2021. So we figured out that there was a specific place in Goulburn, New South Wales, that could help us with our non-alcoholic beer. We got in contact with them. Tribe Breweries were keen to come on board. There was just a little bit of a hurdle, as we had to go from a 19-litre fermenter, and the minimum amount of liquid that this brewery could actually brew is 20,000 litres. So we went from 19 litres, testing our little beer in a back shed, to 20,000 litres without actually being able to try it. And this is, again, the excellence in Matt's recipe. It actually only got better as we transferred it to a larger format. And we were able to, obviously design plays a big part in our brand. I've always liked the idea of well-designed, branded. It gives us an opportunity to, whenever our brand is on display, being delivered in a supermarket, the structure of the brand is always there to see. It's got a very California style, very Perth, very beach orientated, sunny. We wanted to represent something that was joyous. We had a good friend of mine over in Byron Bay design the logo, design the cartons. They came up quite well. We get a lot of compliments. We actually won a gold medal for packaging in our first ever awards, which is a good sign, and we still get compliments to this day. This is, again, just further reiteration into the idea behind non-alcoholic beer and Lightning Minds, how it's resonated in my life, and just the positivity that I would like to think it can create in others' lives as well. Australia is renowned for being a alcohol-heavy country. We're one of the top 20 countries in the world in terms of alcohol consumption. We wanted to create something that could help people just live a little bit less reliance on alcohol, which is my perspective. I had such a positive affirmation from stopping alcohol that I thought possibly I could pass on some of this positivity to other people. And a lot of the feedback we've been getting has been really, really encouraging. People have reached out to let us know that they have, utilized Lightning Minds into their drinking habits to, not cut out alcohol, but just cut down. And we've seen the market grow substantially in just the last few years. From 2021 through to now, there's been a massive growth. A lot of people are now happy to come on board. There's non-alcoholic beer options at every bar, restaurant, supermarket. We have also seen just further, the growth patterns of the non-alcoholic beer, the younger generation drinking just a lot less alcohol in general from previous generations. We've found there's a pretty broad audience to who we sell to. A lot of people who have grown up with, not bad drinking habits, but are just looking to obviously cut down, have really come on board and like having something like Lightning Minds in the fridge just to have, just to break up the full strength beers that they have. We've also seen younger generations, a lot of younger people are just not drinking as much at all. They're happy to go out and socialize and still enjoy the social aspect, but not consume alcohol. And this for me was a pretty big moment when I first started understanding that if I was to have something in my hand while I was out socializing, it really made me feel like I was still part of the crowd. And it was a big perception thing. If I just had something that looked cool, that looked like a beer in my hand, there was no judgment, there was no questions. It was just basically the same social interaction I'd had when I was drinking. I was now just not consuming alcohol. And this has been a big movement because people have started to realize now. And this is where bars and restaurants come in. They're obviously getting good sell-through with their non-alcoholic products, because people don't feel like they're being ostracized at all if they're sitting around with a water or a soft drink. People are putting more effort into non-alcoholic beers. There's more recipes, more flavors. So it's been a pretty exciting growth period for the industry, for the sector. I skipped a few things here as far as the brewing goes, but we basically wanted something with, just nice, refreshing, nice kind of bitter palate, and we've managed to succeed with that. Just some information. The sector has seen some pretty amazing growth. This is even kind of a couple months dated. Some of the research we've been doing, especially in the US and the UK, their dry Januaries have seen massive growth year on year. More and more supermarkets are coming on board. There's more options for people to buy non-alcoholic beers. We've seen a pattern in Australia. Big brands are throwing some money into big marketing campaigns. We've seen Peroni sign on with Ferrari Formula One. It's all adding to the sector where we are looking to grow. I think there's still a lot of growth for Lightning Minds, especially just being able to get brand awareness. That is part of our goal with our marketing strategy is to just get more brand awareness. We're pretty heavy on campaigns that we've been trying. We'll get into that a little bit. This is just more about the accounts that we've been able to create and who we're being able to sell to. It was pretty exciting 2022 when we first launched. We're able to pick up some amazing accounts. Even in Sydney, we've got some pretty extraordinary restaurants that have been, stocking Lightning Minds for well over a year now. So Margaret Double Bay was a big one for us. Neil Perry is obviously a household name in the industry. They've got an incredible restaurant in Double Bay, one of the best wine lists in Australia. They were on board early, which was great for us to see. It's a great selling point when we're approaching other venues. We're able to get some of the bigger bars and restaurants in Sydney as well. The Swill House Group is a pretty powerful hospitality group out of Sydney. Restaurant Hubert, Lafoot, Barker Pains was also on board early. These are some of the places that we still stock to this day. They've been on board for a long time. Lots of award-winning venues. We've just launched some distribution as well into Sydney and Melbourne through Paramount Liquor, which is one of Australia's largest independent distribution chains, distribution companies. We've found that a lot of the venues we're approaching have accounts with Paramount. It's just a matter of us getting in front of the right people, getting in front of the right buyers, approaching larger groups who can then in turn order through Paramount very easy. We have distribution through our third-party logistics group, SKU, they are based in northern New South Wales as well. So our distribution is ready to go. What we are kind of raising the capital, one of the reasons we're raising capital now is to put a sales team together that can go out and sell our incredible product, knowing that the distribution is there, ready to go. As long as we're getting great feedback, people who try it have been buying it, and then obviously with the distribution, we can see a lot of growth moving forward. We've done a bunch of, just kind of fun, exciting collaborations with some local brands. We're looking to do a lot more of these. This is going to be part of our marketing strategy, building a brand awareness. Also bring people on board that have a bit of a presence in certain fields who have decided to, to stop drinking. There's a bunch of people in the music world that are looking to cut down on their drinking. We've been in conversations with a bunch of athletes as well, so we're just looking to grow the brand naturally, organically, with people who kind of identify really well with our brand ethos. We also are able to capture a few awards in the last couple of years. We've been involved in the Sydney Royal Agricultural Society Royal Beer Awards is one of the bigger awards. A couple of years ago, they had their first inclusion of a non-alcoholic brand in their 196-year history, and there was only a few medals given out. Lightning Minds was able to actually take home a silver medal in this award, which we're pretty chuffed about. We'd only been on the market for a little while. Some of the bigger names were ahead of us, and we only just missed out on a gold. So it's just, again, more credit to the recipe that we were able to come up with. It's been, great effort from Matt Crockett. We are, looking, again, this is part of our just marketing ideas. Some recent ideas that we've had which you gained some national exposure through the project. This came together within a day. We were able to execute Channel 10 News, saw it, filmed the truck. This idea came to us on a Friday afternoon. By Sunday, we were on the project to a national audience. These are the kind of campaigns we want to follow suit with, that are cheeky. Obviously, entertainment can showcase our brand in the right light. Again, just more kind of attention to our marketing strategy. We're very prominent throughout social media. Got a big presence on our Instagram platform, LinkedIn. We see this as a great way to grow a brand organically, and we'll just continue working with a great agency. We've got some great creatives on the team that have got some great ideas that we're going to build together with, and just be able to grow the brand. Just some ideas that we've had as far as marketing the brand. Basically, our very brand heavy, graphic heavy, entertaining. It's been just a good way to get the name of the brand out there. It's another campaign we did for Dry July, which was again got some national coverage through some newspapers. The idea was to set your name in stone. We know a lot of people have happy to sign on to do Dry July, but a week in they fall out. So the idea was that if you sign your name into a massive piece of, this weighed 900 kilos, so moving this around, we're going to sign your name, set it in stone. Once you're set in stone, it's going to help you get through the month. We're able to get a lot of people signed on to this. It was a great community feel, kind of set the brand motion, and very good turnout. Again, Hypnosis, some of our creative agency we work with were very much on board with this and came up with the idea and the execution. We have a Australia-wide presence now. We are looking to definitely grow in the New South Wales region. We've got over, I think approximately 30 accounts there. That could grow substantially once we get our sales team together. We see this as a big opportunity for us to grow with the sales team in place. We've even in talks with a few people. People are seeing our brand around. We've had people inquire through my LinkedIn page asking when we're looking to put together a sales team. So as soon as we're ready to go, we're going to have no problem finding a proper team. And this could actually help the brand grow significantly. Obviously, the East Coast market is predominantly bigger than the West Coast. As much as we love being a WA brand, we think we can play with our competitors on the East Coast very easily. Our campaigns, our graphics, our branding is definitely up there. We've got some ideas to help grow the brand. We just need to get our names, our cans in hands, basically. We just need to get in front of the right people, and we're going to see some great growth through that. We've made progress in the last few years just to get to a point of people being aware of the brand. It's been pretty tricky as far as building something from scratch in a sector that has a lot of people weren't open to it to start with. There's been some growing pains like any other business would have. Someone who has come from a retail sector into a new sector, it's been lots of learning, but we've gotten over the humps and we're kind of ready to go to the next level. This is why we're at a stage where we're growing. We're looking to raise capital now. So it's an exciting time for the brand. And I think the next 12 to 18 months will certainly see some encouraging signs. This is, we're also, looking to bring on some investors as well. Obviously, this is the whole idea of the capital raise. We're super excited to get people on board. There's an opportunity for our non-alcoholic brand to really, make its mark and become one of the big designated non-alcoholic beer brands. We've got plans for new recipes. Our R&D is going to grow significantly with this capital raise. We've got lots of ideas. There's talks of new recipes, new kind of new drinks, I guess, to come on board, and just a great chance for people to get in early stage investing, to get into something that we've seen amazing growth in terms of just the acceptance on a worldwide scale. This is something that 3 years ago was, you had no options really at all. And now there's every bar, every venue. And even in my opinion, there's some of these venues are leaving money on the table by not having enough offerings, underestimating the amount of people that are looking to just cut down on their drinks, not looking to, spend the whole night drinking. They're happy to socialize, but they want to also just include a couple of really tasty non-alcoholic beverages with their alcohol beverages. So as far as the sector goes, this is a super exciting time and just a great opportunity to get involved in a brand that's at the really, really early stages, but can see a lot of growth moving forward. That was a lot.
Yeah,
Take on.
that was such an awesome presentation. Thank you.
So,
You're more
hopefully
than
I
welcome
haven't confused everyone, but there's, just trying to get enough information across the board, kind of show a little bit about growth, where we want to be, why we're choosing the capital raise now, and just the ethos of the brand I was hoping to get across.
Yeah, that was perfect. You're more than welcome to grab a drink, by the way, just before we head to Q&A. So everybody, please feel free in the Q&A box down the bottom, chuck in all of your burning questions, and we'll start to go through them now. I also might just give a little bit of an update on the stage of the campaign that we're at. So we're currently still in the expression of interest campaign, where we're running a big campaign and going out and chatting to investors and getting a gauge of what the market interest is in the offer. So Michael is more than happy to get in touch with all of you. I know he's been working his way through the list as well. So if you have any questions, ask them now or jump on the phone with him and chat them through. So the expression of interest campaign will be open for one more week, and then we'll open the investment offer. So when we open the investment offer, it'll actually be in private or early access for the first couple of days, where it's actually only open to those that have expressed interest. So it's a bit of VIP access to the offer there as well. So heading to the Q&A first, we've got first question here is somebody says they love the brand and the taste. So nod to you, Michael. And they'd love to know how you think you'll differentiate yourself as there are so many new entrants coming into the market, and then also some, particularly now well-known brands and for other favorite brews.
Yeah, no, that's a great question. I think the way we can differentiate is our authenticity towards being a dedicated non-alcoholic beer brand allows us to pivot in the way we market our brand. We are really trying to showcase the idea of cutting down on alcohol and just including some of these drinks in your daily routine, your drinking routines, being a very graphic branded, heavy graphic brand. We want to create some interesting marketing campaigns. I think the taste, the quality will help us stand out, but it comes down to being more just the authenticity behind our brand, behind the lifestyle that we're looking to help people create through our branding. I think that'll help us stand out considerably against a lot of alcohol companies that are looking to launch their own non-alcoholic beers. They still have to maintain, a lot of their sales come from the alcohol component of their business. We can focus heavily on just the positive attributes of the non-alcoholic beer in general. So that's where we see ourselves standing out, and some of the ideas, the campaigns that we've got going forward, I think will definitely help us rise to the top.
That's awesome. And you mentioned a little bit about different products in the future. What plans do you have for different products? And someone's asking what kind of timeline can we expect to see for different flavors?
Well, yeah, that's another good question. We actually were hoping to have one out for this dry July, but we're looking for summer, another recipe. We've tinkered with our second recipe. We've actually got something that we're very, very confident on. We're pretty close to perfecting. It's just a matter of, again, like lining it up with our current brewer, contract brewer. There's obviously timing involved with that. There's a lot of people that they do business with as well. So once we've nailed a time, our second recipe will be, we're looking to have that released for this summer. We also still think we have a lot of potential with this particular recipe. We're well known in certain states, but I feel that this will be an ability to capture more venues throughout New South Wales, especially.
Yeah, awesome. And another question I have here is do you see the bigger potential coming from B2B or B2C for Lightning
I
Minds?
definitely would think B2B is the high growth. Like, if you were able to get one of the majors, that could ultimately grow your business substantially. And that's something where, we've looked in, we've had some interest from some of the majors already. So I think B2B is something that we specifically see the high growth coming from. But, the B2C has been very, very good for us as well, especially this year, March. Since January 1st, we've seen a massive increase from our direct to consumer. So I feel that this will be another part that once if we get the capital raise, we want to update our online offering, start a subscription model once we introduce another recipe. The subscription model where people can just easily have a carton a month arrive at their house, which through our distribution networks, we can have that delivered Australia-wide very easily. And I think it'll be a combination of both. I think there's huge potential for our specific direct-to-consumer, but that will only be a tiny part of the growth that we see from business to business in the next couple of years.
Yeah, awesome. And look, you've achieved some pretty significant milestones in such a short time. Do you have a specific strategy to continue expanding? Like, obviously, you're really heavy on the marketing and, lifting that, but are you targeting specific cities, specific types of restaurants? Can you talk us through the strategy?
Yeah, of course. So the strategy, I guess, yeah, we definitely want to aim towards the idea being that New South Wales first, Victoria second, because we've had a lot more I guess, awareness in New South Wales and then the following states after that. But I think Sydney, there's a massive opportunity for us to continue down the venues side. There's getting in talks with the people that own multiple venues and getting on partnerships with those people. And then obviously also the opportunities to grow into some of the independent supermarkets, IGAs, the Romeos. There's huge, they're seeing some great numbers through their sales, and they're always looking for new product. It's just a matter of having the sales team together that we can continuously, there's a lot of follow-up involved as far as trying to get your product onto the shelves. So we see once we have this sales team in place, it's just a matter of us following up. We see that that's a big part of our strategy moving forward is getting the sales team together and then focusing on certain chains, certain hotels, and then obviously some supermarkets as well.
Yeah, awesome. And what kind of margin would you be making on um, like selling wholesale? Obviously, for everybody on the call, all of the financials and the kind of state of play of the business will be available in the offer document when the offer goes live. But can you give us a bit of an insight into the margin on your products?
Yeah, we have, there's enough margin for us to, down the track become profitable. It's obviously in Sydney, we have our beer brewed in New South Wales. So the transportation costs for accounts in Sydney is going to give us a higher margin. We are also looking to contract brew our beer in each specific state. Then once we have that settled, we can then just ship it direct to venues or direct to our distribution partners, in which we have a great distribution partner in WA who does an amazing job getting our beers around. They've taken it, they were early adopters of the brand. So that is part of the plan. We're actually been in talks with multiple contract brewers around the country. It's just waiting for them to come on board with I don't think it's the technology, it's the machinery needed to contract brew non-alcoholic beer. So once that comes into play, there's a definite margin growth for us. This is another focus for New South Wales, especially. We've got a higher margin capability there, and I think that will, as we kind of speak to more and more brewers, because the recipe's been achieved and it's a good recipe, we'll be able to see the margin grow.
Yeah, brilliant. And can you just give everybody a little bit of insight on the call as to what you mean by contract brewing?
Yeah, so these are professional brewers that come on board to help you obviously produce your beer. As we all know, it costs a lot of money to set up a brewery. This is a way for us to get to market and be able to sell our product and have someone of a professional nature look after our beer, basically. So we come up with a recipe. We own all the IP on our recipe. We then work closely with the brewers at this contract brewery. And once they've put it through their machines, it's ready to go. And it's a great way for us to be able to become an Australia-wide company straight away. If we were reliant on building a brewery, it's cost intensive. We'd have to decide what state we'd want to do it, and then you'd have to build out from that state. And then obviously it's just a trickier proposition. This is a great way for us as well, just to get brand awareness and our product out to the Australian market at a faster rate.
Yeah, cool. Great. So another question that's come through, it sounds like the investment in the sales team and growing the team is a massive reason for the capital raise. Can you elaborate on that and it's important to the business, given that's a financial outgoing initially?
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just not sure the question relates to the sales team we're looking to put on board.
Yeah, yeah, and I guess the importance of hiring the sales team. So you've obviously grown your business to a certain point now with the current team that you have, but it sounds like you're investing in a sales team is super important. Can you just elaborate on that a little
Yeah,
more?
of course. It's what I've found was I had the ability to get in front of the right people to start with by sending samples, and when the market was really bubbling, people were more than happy to take the sample. We were kind of new to the market. We were getting a lot of accounts that way, but as we saw, it became a little bit more competitive. I noticed that we had our sales team set up in WA. We were achieving accounts weekly, and that it became very clear that we needed to have this set up in each state where we can run the business, liaise with our sales team, and figure out a strategy on who they need to approach, and then go about and have, Monday to Friday be able to go, or Monday through Sunday be able to approach these people, as opposed to waiting on emails to come back and samples being sent. If you've got a sales team on the ground with your product, they've already built up a network of people that they deal with. Some of the people we've been chatting with have worked in the industry for 15 plus years, so they're bringing their network over to the brand if they were to come on board. And I think that will just exonerate, or it'll actually be able to just the business will grow substantially once we have that team in place to just get in front of the right people and build that rapport and that relationships that are needed.
Yeah, awesome. I mean, it makes sense. More feet on the ground, getting cans in hands, as you said. I like
That's
that.
the goal. That is the goal.
Awesome. Now I know you did this massive marketing campaign about, engraving your name on the stone, and that seems to be something that was, really important to you to help support people, and reinforce their goals of cutting down alcohol. We've had a question come through, like, do you have any plans to do more of that for, people that love your product and helping them to stick to their goals?
Yeah, I think that will be huge with us. Like, just even some of the partnerships that we've talked about that we'd love to get involved with. Lots of sporting communities that are promoting a healthy lifestyle. There's like running clubs, cycling clubs, beach volleyball. These are all people and that we've reached out to see if we could become sponsors. Even some of the events that we've already sponsored and donated beers to. It's all part of the overall picture of just creating a healthy balance, a positive balance in your lifestyle as well, being able to still go out and socialize, have a couple of full strength drinks, a couple of non-alcoholic drinks. You can get up 6 a.m., go join your run club, your cycle club, beach volleyball club. Like this is part of our brand moving forward. We really want to partner with these sort of healthy lifestyle clubs and places of interest that will just, we can kind of grow together. We're looking at certain areas in the mining sector as well that we can try and get our non-alcoholic beers on board. I mean, that's a whole different story as far as some of these places are dry dry mines now. But this, yeah, it's a different, another opportunity that we've got.
Yeah, absolutely. It sounds like the investment in like the heavy marketing campaign is not only about promoting your product, but kind of creating a movement to make non-alcoholic beers cool. You know, I mean, your branding is amazing. Would you consider, doing something like a WhatsApp group or kind of meetups for those that are, trying to cut down on alcohol, anything like that?
Yeah, we'd love to build a little community of people. There's a couple that already exist. Even if if we do raise capital and some investors come on board, we'd be more than happy to build a little community around that. Hear people's story, why they wanted to get involved, what's their story behind their alcohol consumption. Do they enjoy the non-alcoholic beers that we're producing, and has it helped their lifestyle? This is just all stemming back to the way I've chosen to lead my lifestyle now. It's like very much a healthy balance. I just feel like positive energy coming from a bit more physical activity. Could be my age. Obviously, it's definitely looking to build communities is a major part of the brand. And I think there are, but you look at the success and the popularity of run clubs these days, it's massive.
Yeah.
These are things that we want to partner with, be part of the conversation. They all have get-togethers after the run, like we could be a part of that very easily.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think anything like after a triathlon or after a big like marathon thing, people don't like people often want to go and celebrate together, but there are definitely people that don't want to drink straight after doing that. So it's, you know, would be great to have something like that in there.
Just on that as well, even in the training too, like I've started doing some running, and I've met with a lot of people who are training for marathons, training for half marathons. It's
Yeah,
a great way for them to still, they're pretty hell bent on setting some certain goals and getting enough reps in. Once, they're after a training session, they can enjoy a beer, they can enjoy a social interaction, can wake up and do it all again without feeling any ill effects. So it's just
yeah.
another positive attribute to what we're promoting through our business.
Cool. So talking about building community, obviously, through a capital raise, like you're building a community right now through your expression of interest list, and then obviously hoping to bring on a list of investors as well. Are you, is there any way for potential investors joining you to get involved in your business? Are you looking for any kind of strategic partnerships within that?
Of course, always open to ideas. There'll be a level of communication to people if they want to come on board, if they choose to invest in our brand. Like my email, my phone number will be available to these people. Like I'm always happy to build new ideas. If anyone's got any ideas on partnerships moving forward, like it's more about just again building awareness for the brand. People love the brand. We just need to get more people to know about the brand.
Yeah, of course. We have a question here about, what is what is your end goal in terms of growth or like your long-term vision for Lightning Minds? And obviously, we have to be careful about making future projections within, a highly regulated space such as equity crowdfunding. But I would also love to know, dream big. Like, what is your biggest goal for Lightning Minds?
Ultimate goal is to have Lightning Minds developed in California with our own brewery, selling 3 to 4 different recipes of non-alcoholic beer, non-alcoholic RTDs, non-alcoholic wines throughout California and the US. We see massive potential in the US. Lived in LA. I love the California lifestyle. You can see it's built into our brand with the palm trees and the kind of colorful kind of graphics. I think that's a massive market over there. They're seeing huge growth in the non-alcoholic beer sector. I don't think there's a brand like ours over there as of yet. Obviously, there's a lot of steps before we get to that, but that's a massive goal. I would love to see have an Australia-wide presence, have a setup in every state, have a distribution in every state, and then obviously overseas there's potential in Saudi Arabia, Singapore, where I mean the ultimate goal is the US. but there's a lot of steps and a lot of learning to go through before that. But that's a big goal for us.
Yeah, awesome. Um, you mentioned that you lived in LA. Like, can you give us a bit of a rundown of, your career and like what led you to this point? Ultimately, like what makes you the right person for the job to drive this forward?
Yeah, I've always loved like the branding side of things. I was in footwear for a long time and loved the idea of designing something up from scratch and then promoting it to people and building awareness through that. Living in LA was just incredible opportunity over there. There's so much going on, so much like creative energy over there, and just seeing up close how the corporate world in the US works as well. There's a lot of startups over there that have opportunities to grow because of their corporate structure. It was more the creative side, I think. Just seeing brands and how they can grow, and the talent over there as well is second to none. Obviously, this is very kind of personal to me. Like, this is the way I kind of lead my lifestyle now. So the brand is very much correlated with how I'm living my life. It's very much an extension of my, what I'm into. Like, I grew up skateboarding. I live near the beach. You can see it all in our in our graphics, in our campaigns. I wanted to create something that people can resonate with. That's also kind of cool, kind of interesting. The marketing stands out. It's not just another non-alcoholic beer on the shelf. It's actually a brand that people want to get behind and support and talk about. That's a lot of the reasons why I started the brand. So
Yeah, awesome. Thank you. We've had a question come through here, and I haven't heard of this brand before myself, but someone's saying it looks very similar to another beer or non-alc beer called Hiatus Pacific Ale. Um, do you know like exactly what your beer, I guess, or your not sorry, your non-alc beer is comparable to in taste? Is there anything you can think of?
well, not really. Ours is we compared ours to some of the full strength that were on the market. Um, there's not many pale ales that are designated like designed off the American pale ale. I found
Yeah,
a lot of non-alcoholic beers in Australia have gone down the XPA route. I have heard of that brand. I believe, yeah, we're just the color of the can is similar. The color of the cartons is different. They're a completely different recipe. I guess there's always going to be brands that look the
yeah,
same in a competitive field. We have a different
absolutely.
different ethos. They, I believe, from an alcohol company, Molly Brewing. So again, we're a designated non-alcoholic beer brand. They're an existing beer brand doing a non-alcoholic beer. So I guess that's where we stand out against
Yeah,
them.
cool. So we've had a question come through in regards to how much capital you need to raise to move forward. And I'll just jump in quickly and let everybody know that the offer document will be available when the offer is live. So the offer will be live the Wednesday just after Easter, so the 3rd of April. And as Michael said, in his emails out, his number is there, his email's there. Like, feel free to reach out to him, or vice versa. If he tries to contact you, you can jump on the call and kind of discuss those plans as well. Now, we might wrap things up there, Michael. Is there anything else you wanted to share before we jump off?
I'd like to say thank you for people to joining the webinar. This has been a great experience. It's a really exciting time for our brand. Obviously, with the non-alcoholic sector growing substantially, it's just a great opportunity, and really excited to even to get people on board that have ideas and maybe have been in the industry, because this is still a learning curve to me. So anyone who's looking to get involved, the number's always there. I'd love to have a chat, and just looking forward to what we can create together.